kick. I mean, you come to the state of Ohio and you see one of the great names in wrestling history. I'm talking about one half of the Fantastics back in the day, Bobby Fulton. Welcome back. You know, you're not slowing down a bit after all these years. You're still going.
Well, you know, Mick, I'll tell you, I remember sitting ringside as a kid and dreaming about seeing Vern Gagne in the AWA. Of course, this was a NWA territory in Ohio. But I read the magazines and I dreamed that one day that I would be a professional wrestler. And I got a chance to live that dream beginning at the age of 16 right here in Ohio. I trained kind of under Wild Bull Curry and Flying Freight Curry, if anybody remembers Wild Bull Curry. And I got a chance to be with them at 16. Well, as you said, I got a chance to travel all over the world in the 80s. Tommy Rogers and I was one of the most dominant tag teams in professional wrestling. Not only wrestling, but for world-class wrestling, UWF, Universal Wrestling Federation, all NWA, WCW. We had a chance to wrestle all over the world, go to Australia, go to Japan, and not only that, but Puerto Rico, a lot of places, faced a lot of great tag teams. And I mean, you know, I know up in Minnesota, you all are no strangers to tag teams.
Yeah.
Whether it was the High Flyers or the Vashons. And then, but you know, I never got a chance to wrestle guys like that, but I did take on teams like the Midnight Express. I took on teams that were called, my partner and I say I took on people like the sheep herders who later became the bushwhackers in the WWF. But it was like this when we wrestled. We wrestled in some of the most bloodiest battles in professional wrestling. And back in the day, when I had that long hair, as a matter of fact, and blonde, and I had plenty of it. Looked like a mop, I should have cut a mop head off. Came out here, people would have knew who I was. That's why I wear a shirt a lot of times, because you know, the one thing about it is, Mick, it's okay to get older. But as long as you can keep that passion that you had as a young 16-year-old boy, whether I was 16 wrestling with Wild Bull Curry and him, whether I was 25 wrestling in Texas Stadium with the Von Erichs or whoever it may be. I mean, you know that's real. You've been involved in wrestling for years. And I'm just excited about getting a chance to be on this great wrestling event tonight. You know, my partner is going to be Honky Tonk Man, one of the longest reigning intercontinental champions. But you know, I knew of him years ago when they called him by the name of Wayne Punk Rock Ferris, when he was also one part of the Blonde Bomber tag team, him and Larry Booker, who went on to become a Moondog. But one thing is definite. Me and Honky Tonk Man tonight, when we step in the ring, it's serious business. We're not here to play, we're here to stay. This tag team and their managers has come up against us. They think they're going to make a name for themselves. They think that we're going to be a stepping stone. Well, one thing is for certain. When the bell rings and the smoke clears, I've got Honky Tonk Man's back. He's got mine for this night and this night only. But this tag team that we're facing, I know they're double tough, and that manager sure is wily, and he tries to do all the old tricks just like Bobby Heenan used to do. The Weasel, Bobby Heenan, just like Jim Cornette the Wind, just like Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart. This manager's the same thing, but tonight, guys, you're in for an early April Fools on this winter night, because you're not going to walk through the Honky Tonk Man and Bobby Fulton, one half of Fantastics. Mick, they better be ready, because, hey, they're wrestling against some older guys, but we're much wiser than they'll ever be. We're going to lace them up tight. We're going to get in the ring. We're going to do it to it like no one else has ever done in professional wrestling. And tonight, we're going to melt the snow in the parking lot. It's going to be that hot.